do when something you love or feel moderately okay about has a bad future? What do you do then? Do you look inside yourself and do you say, I am moderately okay with this. I can keep on going. Or do you lay your foot down like the man/woman/hermaphrodite that you are?
Is hermaphrodite is that a PC term?
I don't know, but that's the term I know. Like, I legitimately don't know.
If it's not PC, we apologize.
Yes.
Unless you're someone that hates PC, then yeah, we do too, huh?
Yeah.
We'll appeal to all bases.
Alex hates PC. Well, I am willing to offer a public apology because I don't know the correct preferred nomenclature.
Unless PC is the bigger one, then yeah, I love PC.
Alex is a man with no allegiances.
I am willing to sell myself to the highest bidder.
And that's where we live here, on the protagonist seat. I'm Ian.
And I'm Alex. I believe whatever you believe.
Yeah. Fluid morals. Kind of like, it's not a good segue into
It's
that.
not a good segue.
I forgot we start with case files.
Case files. Lord Elmalloy. Backwards.
Yeah. With no El Malloy.
Yeah, this episode is just about Gray, Luvia, and Rhaenys.
It's a girls' trip.
What's the girl? They're going to the mall.
They're going to the mall.
Yeah, so this episode, Gray notices Waver's troubled because he's thinking about Gilgamesh. And I get troubled every time I think about Gilgamesh.
Me too.
I'm always sitting there, I'm like, could Gil beat, in a fight, Ozymandias?
Now that's a good question.
No, I think Gil would Gil would beat Ozzy.
Probably.
Ozzy's got divinity. If you've got divinity, you lose.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate truth. But Gray decides.
Could Gil beat Saber Lancelot?
Yeah. Because doesn't she also have divinity?
Lancelot?
Oh, Saber.
Yeah, not like Berserker Lancelot.
My head, you said Saber Lancelot, and my head went to Saber Lancer.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Saber Lancelot, he could probably beat.
Well, regular Saber can beat Gil. You know what? This isn't about Gil. Fuck Gil.
Yeah,
his show comes out next season.
Exactly. We'll get his show next. Right now, it's all about Alexander the Great.
Yeah, so Waver's troubled, Gray notices, and so she decides to ask Rhaenys about what happened in the Holy Grail War.
And naturally, Rhaenys is like, I'll tell you.
But I want something.
And she just wants to go to the mall.
Yeah. And turns out...
Rhaenys wants a girl's trip out.
Yeah, so they go to the mall and they have Gray trying a bunch of outfits that do not fit for modern English fashion.
Or Gray's fashion in general.
Yeah.
It's all like Victorian-era frilly dresses.
Yeah, and they have her wear one of those, and Luvia shows up, and it turns out Luvia actually owns the mall.
Of course she does.
Yeah, because the Edefelt family is well off.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they own not just a mall.
They own the, premier mall in London.
This is the biggest, most expensive mall of the rich in London. And I can't remember what the name is because it's a name, and I'm not good with those.
Karnak?
Yeah,
something
I think
like
Karnak.
Karnak, yeah.
I am Karnak. That's the name of my character, Karnak. He's from a Saturday morning cartoon. It's called... I'm not good at this part. It's called Lord Karnak and the Saviors of the Galaxy.
I assumed you were just going to do something related to Conan the Barbarian.
I almost went He-Man, but I didn't want to just redo something. I wanted to do something that was my own. I wanted to bring my own flair to it. And by doing that, I just took a bunch of things that were already done and mixed them together.
And you took a bunch of time.
And I took a bunch of time, approximately 2 minutes.
Yeah, so they're having fun. They're doing girl stuff. They're like, hey, let's go shopping together.
Shopping!
And it's weird to see so much of Luvia and without, like, Rin being involved. Because Luvia is Rin's rival.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and, like, the only other show she majorly appears in is the Prisma Ilia one.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that.
Well, she's in also the Hollow Ataraxia visual novel, but that's not getting adapted ever.
Okay.
I say that, but it probably will.
I'll take your word for it.
That's one of those weird ones where it's like it's just a lot of jumping around between like just time. It's just it would be hard to adapt.
As long as it's better than Prisma Iliad.
Hey, Prisma Ilia is fine. It's just the content is a little questionable. I would rather watch that over Last Encore. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Because I was thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, there's a lot worse things out there.
Just like in this franchise specifically.
Yeah, like Last Encore.
Dude, I would rather watch that, like the Prisma stuff, than I would before I would watch Apocrypha again.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, let's have the main character and the main villain both neither be that interesting, have nothing to do with each other really, and then meet for one lukewarm final encounter.
Yeah. It's not. Netflix, you gotta try harder.
Netflix didn't make it.
Oh shit.
They just like
they
didn't even produce it. They just got the streaming rights for it. Yeah. I didn't even watch it on Netflix. I watched it as it came out, obviously completely legal on Japanese television. That is how I watched it.
Yeah, that's how we watch most of our shows. Except I watched Apocrypha and the first episode of Last Encore on Netflix before being like, no more.
I also don't think Shaft was the right studio for that.
Shaft was not the right studio.
Hey, remember when we were talking about Lord Elmaloy case files and not everything else in the Fate franchise?
No, when was that?
Yeah, so they go to the mall, Luvia owns the mall, and turns out they're having a good time. Yeah, girl time, and then they get like...
Yeah, they're sitting in the owner's room, because that's a thing. And then
you know all the malls have that. Yeah,
all the just go to your local mall, ask to be let into the owner's room. But they're in there, and Rhinus's eyes get all ouchy, and the world is monochrome now.
Yeah, turns out they're in a separate space of reality.
Yep, because of course they are.
And they're like, this must be someone trying to kill. Like they're pointing fingers at each other, where Luvia's like, oh, this is clearly probably an assassin trying to take out the head of the Elmaloy family before she can take her place. And she's like, please, how many people has your family screwed over and made enemies against?
And they're both like, ooh.
And then Gray's like, wait, but if it's to kill one of you two, then why are we all here together? And why am I here? I'm not important.
Yeah, Gray's just Gray.
And then they're like, man, what would our teacher do in this time? And
Let's mimic what our teacher would do to solve this mystery.
And they're like, Gray, you're his apprentice. What do you think he would do? And she's like, well, he would start with the why done it.
Why done it? And that's the reason. What's going on?
They figure out fairly quickly, wait a second, maybe this is all an accident. Because you found out Luvia actually did a bunch of her gem magic, because that's her type of magic, on the place to make people buy shit more.
Because that's not morally questionable.
But, you know, as far as mages go, that's fine.
Yeah. As long as no one figures it out.
Yeah.
So they go...
And there'd be no way you'd figure that out.
Of course.
It's just like, man, I really want to spend money when I walk into this place.
Yeah. Huh. Must just be the place. And they basically go to her security system, and they're like, oh, look, the gems. We must destroy the gems. And then, like...
a bunch of little pharaoh robots.
Yeah.
They're not robots, like little pharaoh things show up.
They're like pharaoh wind chime constructs, because they make a wind chime noise.
And then Luvia beats the shit out of them with pro wrestling moves.
Yeah, she love this because at first she's like, hold on, this is my mall, I'll take care of it. And then Rhinus, Gray, and Rhinus's Mercury made duck, and she just goes like full on spraying.
Oh yeah, she machine guns, like shoots like the gem magic out of her fingers, and then after just starts like pile driving them physically.
Yeah, she dashes into some of them and like picks them up and slams them on the ground, and like holy shit.
They added her to FGO as a like pseudo servant, and all she does is like
Wrestling
all
moves.
she does is wrestling moves.
I like it. I actually like that a lot. Because when she's done, it goes to an internal monologue where it's like, and from the top ropes, she screams to her fans, and she just starts shouting, and it's really good. But then that's that. They defeated the constructs, and then they break the thingies. And they're like, well, let's not do that again.
And it goes back to a thing Waver was saying earlier it cuts back to his lecture was on how kings would bury themselves with their treasure to use in the afterlife, and how the treasure that Luvia had there must have viewed them as treasure and didn't want them to leave.
Yeah, because it's meant to accumulate wealth.
Yeah.
So it viewed them as wealth, so wealth can't leave, etc.
And yeah, Gray was like, but why would it want me? And then Rhaenys is just like, you have one of the most powerful noble phantasms in the world.
Yeah, that's kind of valuable.
Yeah.
You have Rum-Yum-Yum-Yad.
Yeah, Rum-Yum-Yum-Yad.
Yum-Yum-Yum-Yad.
My favorite noble phantasm. Rum-Yum-Yum-Yad.
Rum-Yum-Yum-Yad. And Gray's like, oh. And then she goes home.
Oh, and she bought a present for Waver. I think it was like a notebook that she was looking at.
Yeah, probably.
And then she goes back, and Waver's all troubled, and he's like,
I'm a troubled man.
Apparently, someone stole his relic of Iskander.
But who? None other than the Mystic Eyes sales train, Rail Zeppelin.
And now he has to go there, and he asks if Gray will come with him, which of course she's going to go with him.
Yeah, she's Gray. And of course he's going to ask Gray to go with him because she's Gray. She's much stronger than he is.
Yeah. And that's that.
Yeah.
And we only took almost 15 minutes to talk about one show.
Well, we had the intro.
We did.
So, 14 minutes.
To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts.
I want to put this out on the airwaves now. I love the shit out of this episode.
Hey, I'm going to put something out on the airwaves too. I did too. It was the first episode of the show that was like, yeah.
Yeah, it took a turn, and I was like, I like exactly where this is going.
Kane's fucking great.
Kane is awesome.
And then we find out that blonde dude, for some reason, he's like, I hate Kane. And I'm like, why? It's Kane's brother.
I would hate Kane, too, if he was my brother. That dude's a fucking asshole.
I would hate Kane if I met him.
I would probably hate Kane if I met him.
Kane's just one of those people where it's like you'd meet him and you're just like, what a fucking dick.
Yeah. Also,
that
Kane...
dude probably farts in a room, smells it, and goes like, and he like grins after like, yeah, that's me.
And then he leaves. He leaves everyone else in the room with it. Turns out Kane vampire confirmed. Kane final boss confirmed.
Yeah, that's the incarnate Kane vampire.
Yeah, and that's just what he is.
Yeah, he is a vampire.
So basically...
And he's immortal for the most part.
Yeah, he's a vampire, so...
Yeah, so you go there and you find out he is, even though he fought for the North, he's trying to rile up the Southerners, be like, the North sucks! Everyone say it with me, fuck the North, let's go fight them.
He riles up the rich people by being like, the government took your wealth to fight their war, and then had the nerve to surrender.
And then they're like, yeah, and he's like, but don't worry, with all the money you guys gave me, look at all these new incarnates I got. And they're like, hey, we look forward to working with you. And then this crab thing just stomps on this dude.
Yeah, this dude who walked up to
Hank and was
Hank
like,
at
hey.
the beginning, I was like, that dude's fucking super dead. He walks up to another one and just gets squished.
And then he was just like, yeah, I don't actually need you guys anymore. I just needed your money. Now everybody die.
All right, see you guys. And then all the incarnates just start tearing people apart.
And then Hank starts fighting him, and he's all by himself, surrounded. And then the military busts in
with fucking jetpacks and jet skis. Yeah. It's fucking amazing.
And then they actually do some damage to most of the weaker ones. And then Kane's brother tries to fight him, but he gets his shit wrecked. Yeah, he actually does pretty good, though. He has like 3 that are trying to attack him while he's trying to fight Kane.
He fights Kane, then he fights Centaur Man, and like a bug.
Oh, and then not Hank, like other werewolf.
Actually, when I saw the other werewolf, I was like, hold on. We've never had repeats before. What the fuck? But then that comes back. Yeah, and he gets his shit rocked, and then Kane, and then Hank comes in because Hank's the big good guy.
Yeah, because at first they shoot a hole through Kane, and he's just like, Hank, join me, and he's like, no, and then they shoot Kane, and then Hank shoots him with the harpoon in the face.
He throws his explosive harpoon right into Kane's face and blows the entire top half of him straight into the fucking shadow realm.
He's a pair of legs.
It is a pair of legs in like nice slacks just standing there.
But then he pulls himself together where like regenerates, and then after he's all shirtless and cool, I'm a shirtless vampire with my pants still on.
Kane, you can't be the bad guy. You gotta pull yourself together.
And then he's like, I know how to stop you, Hank. And he goes and just shoots Charles.
Yep. But he shoots her in the flank because she's got to be okay.
Yeah. I don't know if probably not intentional. Maybe he's just like didn't really care where he was shooting.
This dude probably hasn't actually shot anybody with a gun in a very long time.
The last person we saw him shoot was their female companion, and that was like in the tit.
Yeah.
He like barrel stuffed her.
And that was a long time ago too. Something tells me Kane is not the greatest marksman. But he shoots Charles, and he's like, you could do something about it, Hank?
And then Hank goes full crazy, and he's like, yes, Hank, give in to the incarnate beast part. And then Hank turns into like this massive Gigawolf.
Hank turns into Fenrir.
Yeah, he basically turns into a Fenrir. He becomes like a wolf god.
Because even Kane is like, release the chains of Gleipnir. And I was like, that's a very Norse-sounding name. And then Hank releases the chains and becomes Gigawolf. And I'm like, oh, he's Fenrir.
Yeah, and then he destroys half the city.
Yeah.
Like, he destroys a whole line going through it.
Yeah, he fucks off and fucks up a lot of stuff on the way out.
Because military dude wakes up and he's like, where's Kane? And she's like, he got away. And then he's like, what happened to the city? And he walks outside and there's just this line running through it.
It's bad. It doesn't look good.
And it's like, now we can't find Kane. And we don't know if Charles will make it.
So now our main characters are in the military.
Yeah.
Unless Charles wakes up next episode.
She'll wake up next episode. She's like the POV character.
Yeah.
So I wonder if, hey, to save Charles, we'll have to make her an incarnate.
I don't know. To be totally honest, I have no goddamn idea where this show is going.
Which
now.
I like, because I thought at first, I'm like, we're just doing the whole Monster of the Week thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Literal Monster of the Week.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking as well. Abandoned Beasts, you got me.
You did good, kid.
You took a turn and I
did hear that this manga was good. It was just a
slow start.
Slow burn.
All right. I believe it.
Speaking of burn,
Dr. Stone.
No, fuck you, Fire Force.
Fire Force.
I had a perfectly smooth transition there.
And I threw a wrench into the works because I'm a disturber.
Yeah, so like we knew last time from the ED, the priestess girl knew princess, that they were in the same convent together.
Yeah, and turns out they both took that hit a little differently.
Yeah,
just coped with that a little bit separately.
Because Shinra walks by and he sees that she's sad and is like, huh. do you need anything? And she's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, because she's in the bath. And he's like, oh, it's my bad. That's my B, homie.
But, yeah, she decides to go confront Princess herself.
Which is the worst idea ever.
Well, I mean, I guess if you think you know a person and then turns out you don't know them after all, I guess it's more of like a...
Yeah, that's true.
Someone that you took naps leaning on to going to basically being like, I'm a devil and I'll use you to lure your companions here and crush them.
Yeah.
That's probably like a surprise.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a shock.
But yeah, so she goes there and then I know the 8th's job is to investigate the other ones, but does that, like, warrant, hey, we are going to raid another facility of fellow firefighters?
It's weird because like they were planning on already like doing some
yeah, they were
gonna
raid
dudes.
They were gonna raid it anyway, and instead they're just like, we don't know where the priestess is. Let's raid the place now.
Yeah, we'll raid them because they'll probably know. And I like the lieutenant's justification for this because they full on bust in like guns blazing, and
yeah.
the lieutenant's like, Maki is actually like, hey, are we sure this is a cool idea? And he comes back with, I mean, they're doing illegal stuff anyway, so what are they gonna do? File a report? They can't do that. So you know what? I guess it's fine.
Yeah, we find out too that the lieutenant guy's thing is he shoots bullets at people, but he can control how hard they hit them.
He's Mista. He's Mista of this team.
Yeah. So he basically is shooting them with bullets, but not enough to actually penetrate them. So you're basically getting knocked out.
Because he shoots. These aren't rubber bullets. They are real ass bullets.
He just makes them not as fast as regular bullets.
And it's actually kind of interesting because when you think about it, a gun is just a combustion launcher. So if you can control fire already, just weaken that blast so it doesn't penetrate. And
for some reason, Arthur has a fight that with the incarnate monster from last week, but now they like mind controlled it to like fight for them, and they put their fucking logo on it. Yeah, and he's like, why am I losing? I can't figure out why I'm losing. I'm getting no power in my left hand. I was using my wrong hand, and I was sitting like, what? Yeah, that confused me as well. Excuse me? Is like he's supposed to be full on brain dead? Like, is he actually that stupid? Honestly, I think he might be. Like, he's just, I used the wrong hand. I think he might actually be that retarded. Because in the beginning of the episode, they're having a meeting, and he sees a bird just, like, sitting on a railing nearby. Okay, so I thought, like, he just plays around a lot and really gets into the character. Is he just actually retarded? I think he's actually just like that. Because I think he was actually going to draw on that bird. Because he calls it a griffin, and he, like, gets into stance. And the only reason he seems to stop is because Maki is like, hey, you'll get arrested if you go around just killing birds. Well, okay, so he is full on stupid. I think Arthur is just actually retarded. And yeah, so they bust through the place, guns blazing. We don't see what the captain does this episode yet. And we don't really see Shinra because he just goes ahead. Shinra can fly, so he literally flies into the base and just runs off. Yeah, but I still want to know, what if they didn't do anything, or you don't have enough evidence? You just raided a fellow facility, like, did a bunch of damage, injured a bunch of personnel, and then you're like, sorry, we're just doing our job. False alarm. But that's our job, is to basically go and kick the shit out of you guys. Yeah, exactly. But no one's supposed to know that that's their job. I find this weird that is this their actual official thing that they're supposed to do? I don't think Or is so. This what the captain has decided they're going to be doing? And if so, this is basically like they went in really no plan, and yeah. What the fuck? Yeah, it wasn't a very good plan, and it's not very well defined. But you know what? Everything works out. We don't know that yet. Well, we know they win their fights, the B team. Yeah, B team, Maki and Lieutenant win their fights. It's still early in the show, so I know they're going to be successful. Also, there's a bunch of other branches that they have to take down. Of course. So, yeah, they'll be successful. The Lieutenant takes out a dude
His power is like he breathes flammable gas into bubble gum and just like throws the bubbles at people and they blow up.
Yeah.
But he beats him by shooting around corners because he's Mista.
Yeah, he can curve bullets.
He controls the ricochet. And then they defeat the what is it? It's the Terrible Force 3 or whatever.
Yeah, the 3 girls that look the same.
Yeah, except there's a lot more than 3 of them.
And they beat the crap out of them off screen. They don't even really show it. Like, one's even hiding.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of them. And they're like, there was a lot more than 3 of them. And then one's just hiding. And then, you know...
that's everything that happens in that.
Yeah, Priestess confronts Princess, and Princess is like, I'm a demon. And then that happened at one point. And then that's it.
Yeah.
Dr. Stone.
Dr. Stone.
Let's get stoned.
We start with the last little bit of Senku waking up Taiju. Like he finds Taiju and he's trying to figure out how to wake him up. And that's how Taiju ended up in the cave, which I figured.
Yeah.
That's how he ended up in the cave.
Yeah.
Because Senku brought him there.
Of course.
But yeah, it's them like both being like, "Come on, I need you to wake up because I need you," and that's them saying that to Senku while he's unconscious there, and then the past Senku saying that to Taiju.
And then Senku wakes up, and he's like, "Guys, stop yelling. You'll let Tsukasa know."
But then they decide this is going to be their plan going forward. They're going to have Taiju and Yuzuriha go and infiltrate Tsukasa's gang. They're gonna have him like he's gonna have them spy because he's like, they think I'm dead. He thinks I'm dead, so I'm just gonna act in secret.
It's The Stand.
Yeah,
it's literally a thing that happens in The Stand.
It is The Stand by Stephen King.
Yeah, but with stone.
And while Tsukasa's heading back, he gets attacked by a blonde-haired and blue-eyed girl, which is definitely the she is not a person who just woke up.
She's at least second generation.
Yeah. That's where you go if you want to keep the blonde your Aryan features. Japan. That's how you keep them.
Of course. She's also wearing stone high heels or like stone platform shoes.
They look almost like skates.
I don't know.
But yeah.
She's got weird stone shoes.
She's actually pretty strong, and she starts fighting him because she attacks him because she saw him. She's like, "You attacked that sorcerer and like threatened that woman."
Oh yeah, she calls our boy a sorcerer.
And she's like, "You disturbed the mountain spirit," or like the black. And he's just like, "Oh, she's mountain spirit. She's talking about dumb shit. She's not like from our time. She just is like second or third generation."
Hey, what generation are you from the Revivers? And she doesn't answer him because she's busy fighting him. And he's like, well, there's no point in me killing these primal people because I can either just wipe them later or just rule over them. So instead he decides to collapse a tree on her.
Yeah, because
the safest option.
He really is kind of a shitbag.
Yeah, he is.
And he leaves her like that, and Senku actually finds her.
Yeah, because Senku sees this. Well, he doesn't see the scuffle, but he sees the large crash and decides to investigate.
And he's like, "Hey," he's like, "I can use the last little bit of my gunpowder to like blow this up, but if you're okay, I can save you in a couple of hours, 100 billion or 10 billion%."
Yeah, because that's Senku's thing.
10 billion%. And then she's like, "Yeah," he's like, "You have to decide right now." And she's like, "My organs and bones are fine. Do your thing." And he invents the pulley.
Yep, he invents the pulley to lift up the tree.
And then she's kind of like immediately fascinated by him. So I think this is going to be Senku's waifu.
Yeah, Senku's waifu is going to be a second generation, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, sexy warrior lady.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense why I don't see a lot of Taiju in the opening, because Taiju is going to be doing his own separate thing.
Yeah, and I'm cool with that. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, and I guess that gives us reason to have POV for like what's going on with Tsukasa, because obviously they're probably not going to interact for a while now, so we wouldn't have any idea of what he's doing.
We're going to be entering Cold War nation status.
Yeah. But you know what? It's good shit.
Yeah, I want to see where it goes. You got me reeled in.
Machikaido Mazuku, Ian fucked up and didn't watch this one this week, so it's just me talking about it.
I didn't fuck up. My totally legal streaming service fucked up.
Yes, his totally legal streaming service fucked up.
And they didn't upload this week's episode, so I didn't get a chance to watch it.
So I will be describing this one alone.
While I shout spoilers at things.
Okay, so...
Spoiler!
The first part of this episode, like how usually it's a two-parter, so her sister wants to write a report about her younger sister, Shamiko's younger sister.
Yeah,
and
the strategist.
Yeah. So Shamiko goes and wants to buy her sister something nice because she got a bunch of money and she was going to pay back Momo right away. But she saw that, like, Momo was, Momo didn't want to accept it right away because she knew that would, like, kind of end their whole thing.
Yeah.
And she's just like, you should use it to buy yourself something. And she's like, I don't want to. And she's like, seeing that Momo, she's like, hey, your lunch is you eating those wieners, and, like, she has a bag of bread, and she's just taking the bread out and putting the, she's like, haven't your, like, are your parents, like, never home or anything? And she's like, I don't have any parents. And she's like, okay, I'll do what you say just for today because I feel bad, so I'll keep the money for now.
That's great.
And she decides to take her sister and Momo to the store or the mall to go, like, buy her something because she's like, you can get anything you want. And she's just, you're my sister and I want to, like, do something for you today. And she's like, also, just kind of, like, go with whatever my story is for, like, my sister. She's like, this is my best friend Momo. And she's like, oh, my sister's best friend. And she's like, yeah, just go along with it. And she's like, okay. And then when they're going around shopping, the sister's trying to be like, I know you're struggling, like, our family's struggling, so I really don't want you to buy me anything. And she's like, no, get whatever you want. How about this? And she gets, like, a bunch of medical supplies, and she's like, no, she's like, I'm fine. I'm gonna come home fine. I don't need you to be, like, my combat medic. She's like, what about this? And it's, like, the art of war.
That's awesome.
And then she keeps getting a bunch of things that she thinks will be helpful. But then Momo notices she keeps eyeing some camera that's like some like USB like toy camera.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, Shamiko, it looks like she wants to get that. And she's like, hey, do you want this? And she's like, no, I just thought it would look really cool. And I saw it in a bunch of magazines and I just think it looks really awesome, but I don't need it. And she's like, you basically want it.
So you would like this.
And it's basically the exact amount of money that Shamiko has. It's like $21.
Of course.
So she buys it for her sister, and they decide to take she's like, I want to take a photo of my sister and her best friend. And she's just like,
It's becoming reality.
Yeah.
We're reaching best friend status.
And they do take a picture, and then Momo's just like, and she's like, oh wait, how do you get the photo off of there? She's like, oh, it's USB. And then Shamiko's like, US? And then the national anthem of the United States starts playing, and she's like, but I don't even have a passport, and I don't speak English. And she's like, you're thinking USA. I said USB.
That's awesome. Damn it, I missed a good gag.
And then after Momo decides, hey, I have a computer at home, so I can get that picture developed for you. And they just start talking a bunch of, like, tech lingo to each other, and Shamiko's lost.
She doesn't strike me as the Geek Squad tech wizard.
And the narrator's like, don't give up, Shamiko. Like, learn everything you can about technology so you can be a very tech-savvy demon.
I love the narrator, because the narrator always opens with, don't worry, Shamiko. That's always how he starts.
Or he said, spend some time in the IT lab at school. And the second half of the episode is Momo gives Shamiko her old laptop.
Oh, shit.
Because she's like, hey, she's like, no, I'm tired of accepting things from you. And she's like, then it's for your sister then, because she can use it with her new camera. And she's just like, but Shamiko, this thing is very fragile, so you can't drop it. It can't get hit with anything, and it can't get wet. And she's, like, leaning next to her, like, saying all this really ominously.
Oh,
and she's just holding it, shaking. And she's just like, all right, you understand, right? And she's like, how much does it cost? And she's like, that's a secret. And she's like, all right, I just have to get this home without anything happening to it. And so then it does encounter number 1, and it's like she's walking through like the school building to like past the club room, and she's like, was this hallway always so wide? And it shows everything, like there's like people playing ball and stuff, there's a turtle going by, there's a bunch of stuff rolling on the ground, and she's like trying to dodge everything, and her friend is coming up behind her, like one of her classmates, and she's just like, hey Shamiko, and she's like, or hey Yuko, and she's like, what are you doing? She's like, I was just thinking we could hang out and stuff, you know. I'm like, she has her tennis ball and she's like bouncing it, and she's just like, could we like do this some other time? And then she kind of gets away from her, and then she's going down. It's like encounter number 2, and it's her other friend, and she's running down the hallway with like cleaning supplies, like a broom and a bucket of water, and she's like, hey Shamiko, or like, hey Yuko, I'm so happy to see you, I've really wanted to talk to you lately. And she's like, can we talk literally any other time? And she's right in front of her, shaking around the bucket, and the water's just splashing. And she's like, I'll talk, just put down the bucket,
This show is great.
And then the third encounter, she's on the way back, and she sees the dog that made her fall and become dead last time. She's super afraid of it, and it's just this little like Shiba Inu, and she's, in her mind, it's huge. It's like this sphinx-sized dog, and she ends up hearing. She's like, maybe I should just wait till nightfall for the dog to go to sleep. And then she hears her ancestor, and she's like, Yuko, is this you? This is your ancestor. For some reason, I'm getting a really good signal right now. And she's like, here, I'll give you the ability to like get past this encounter. And Shamiko gets her transformation sequence, where she gets her outfit.
I can't believe I missed it.
And then she's super embarrassed to be standing out in the open, and the lady brings out her dog, and she's like, hello, and she's like, I knew it would make people do a double take. And she's like, I can't just walk home with this. And she's like, well, yeah, I guess times have changed since the Mesopotamian era.
Yeah, just a little bit. Oh, that's good shit.
And then she finally gets back home, and she's like, finally. And then she trips over the demon statue and drops the laptop. And then her sister runs over like, Yuko, I thought I heard something happen. And then she steps on it, and she's like, that's Momo's laptop. And she's like, oh no. And she's like, I stepped on it. And she's like, don't worry, I already dropped it. And then the mom comes running in with a bowl of water like, did I hear something happen? And she falls and spills it on it. And then all 3 of them start running around freaking out, and they're moving at like 2 frames per second.
Oh my god.
And then after, she's like, I guess let's open it up and look at it. And turns out Momo was prepared for that, and so she put it in it was in a waterproof case, and then it had a shock case on the inside to protect it. And then she takes out a letter saying, hey Shamiko, yeah, so I figured that you would probably drop it or get it wet on the way home, so I took precautions against that. And even if it does break, I can fix it, so no worries. Anyway,
Momo is the true champion.
And instead she like crumbles up the letter, and she's like, I won't let you win next time.
Momo found a way to win by keeping Shamiko from losing. It's such a unique.
Momo's just a good friend. Like, hey, yeah. I made sure the laptop won't break. Also, I can fix it if it does, so no worries.
I guess friendship, at the end of the day, friendship is what really wins.
Friendship wins. But yeah, it was a good episode, so watch it when you go home.
Yeah, I'll find it.
Mao-sama.
Mao-sama.
Mao. They have a dinner party at first to celebrate Aru's leg getting healed.
At like the ritziest joint in town, because they got a high priestess girl with them, so why not?
Mao-sama retries one of those series where it's one of those isekai where I wonder why it bothers being an isekai, because I see him as the character he is, not as like the dude who made the game inside of him.
Yeah, me too.
It's like how I feel with Overlord every time we go to like Ainz's internal voice, where I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. He's not actually a giant skeleton man. He's some video game player.
Yeah, he's some fucking otaku.
Yeah, even though it doesn't matter, because he only cuts to that in like situations wherever like he's getting flirted with like Albedo or whatever her name is.
Yeah. And we don't see like we don't see the character that they're supposed to be. We just 100% see the video game character.
But I am actually fine with the character he is.
Yeah, I like his character.
He's one of those people where, like, even with this, he was like, he too cool. Like, just he was meant to be cool, and he does cool shit. But I think it is cool because he's not like, hey, I'm this teenage kid who's. It's like, hey, I expect his character to be cool.
Yeah,
he is a mob boss.
He's like a mob boss in his 40s or 50s.
If he wasn't cool, I'd be like, hey, what are you doing with this guy? Actually, it would probably be cool if he wasn't cool, just because that on its own would be interesting.
Yeah.
But it's cool seeing him do cool stuff.
It's interesting, because he's not like a super buff dude or like super handsome. He's just like
cool in a suit smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, he's just a cool older guy.
And they're having a dinner party celebrating Aku getting better, and they're all enjoying themselves. And I also did like how he ends up going to one of the staff members, and he's like, hey, I need you to bring something to our table.
Oh, yeah.
And he pulls like a tart out of like a wormhole.
He basically spawns a dessert. And
which is why I say this is the better father-daughter show than like the Demon Lord.
Yeah.
Daddy Demon Lord. Because like he's like, hey, we're celebrating my pseudo-daughter getting better. I'm going to bring her this. I want you to bring to our table this nice, cute little tart. This little pastry.
There's even a part later where he mentions like, oh, she's nervous. It's like she's watching her dad go away to work.
Yeah.
But they eat the tart and everyone thinks it's delicious.
And then this weird-looking lady comes over.
She's real fat.
Yeah, this lady with no neck comes over.
She's got too much neck. That's the thing.
No, it just goes head to shoulders.
There's head, and then there's too much neck, and then there's shoulders.
And turns out she is like she runs this group of all the wives of all the nobles.
So she's real important.
And he's just like, I should probably he's like, this would make a good ally.
I should schmooze the shit out of this lady.
And so at first when he's just like, do you know what I think would save this country? He hands her a bar of soap. He puts down a bar of soap. At first I thought he was doing that as an insult to like say she stinks.
Yeah.
And I was about to be like, ooh, what the fuck? But no, he was actually using it to be like, I recommend you try this because this soap will rejuvenate you and make you feel great. And we're opening a hot springs town, which will basically, he goes on this big marketing spiel.
Yeah, he delivers his pitch for his marketing town.
Yeah.
And I was like,
his hot springs. And he's just like, it's gonna have all kinds of baths. It's gonna have all this shit.
And then the Satanists show up because they always show up to fuck up everything.
Yeah, and then he basically is like, everyone stay here. And he's like, I'm just going to go and kick the crap out of them.
And I believe it's this point where we hear Yu go, oh, and because he messages her.
And he's just like, hey, he's like, I want you to watch over them while I'm gone. She's like, of course, sir. And he's like, thanks, I'm counting on you.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And
he's like, oh, did she stutter?
He's like, nah, she wouldn't stutter.
She's not like that.
And then he goes to fight the Satanists along with, he ends up running across girlish boy and strong woman.
And there's also a big titty priestess who doesn't dress like a priestess. She dresses like a wizard in an RPG.
Yeah.
And her buddy who is like a something. I don't know, like an evil looking something.
Yeah.
One's red and one's blue.
But they don't really come across like him during this. It's just the other two.
We meet them earlier.
And then the Satanists summon a clown looking demon.
Carnival.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm really powerful. And he's like, last time I didn't get to use my full power against a demon. So right now I'm just going to go all out just as a test.
And he starts stacking buffs and debuffs on himself.
And he kicks the shit out of this dude.
Yeah, super hard. Effortlessly.
Yeah. He like throws him up into the sky and like blows him up.
Yeah, I almost felt a little bad. But then I realized he's a demon.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, oh my god, Demon Lord, you're so cool.
Yeah, everyone instead is just like, that's you on the wanted posters, right? You're so awesome.
And it's this ridiculously evil, like, caricature of him on the wanted posters we keep seeing. And they're like, oh, you're so cool.
And we just get to see his ride to fame.
Yeah, he's fame now.
It was a cool episode.
Yeah, I dig it. I like the characters. Girlish boy still wants him to fill his hole.
Yeah. Yeah, they exchange names now, too.
Oh, yeah, because they're destined. They're bound by the red string of fate.
And he's not letting anyone else get that old man but him.
Exactly.
He's
exactly.
like, I am putting myself forward as harem contender #1.
I don't think Girlish Boy's gonna win.
The trap always wins, right?
I like how the trap's comrade keeps being like, yeah, but you're a dude. You know you're a dude, right? You're a guy, and I like that. I like their dynamic.
Yeah, the girl's the tough one.
Yeah.
Which isn't a problem, because, sometimes I'm PC.
I'm occasionally down with political correctness.
Are you? Then yeah. If not...
Periodically, I enjoy strong female characters.
But if not, why would they do that?
Exactly. What a weak beta male move. From commonplace to world's strongest.
So... Did they? Do you think they?
See, here's the thing. I don't know, but if they did... I'm like 90%. It was non-consensual.
No, I think it was. I think he just is like, he's the shy one.
I mean...
I'm talking in the bath.
Oh, in the bath?
I know they didn't before.
I don't know. Even in the bath, I'm still iffy on that one.
Anyway.
No means no, unless I'm not down with that. Oh yeah, that meme doesn't carry over to rape jokes. See, we can make these now. We only have like 10 people who listen. We gotta make them while we can. Because eventually, we're not gonna be able to.
And who's gonna go back and watch these episodes? Ha ha ha. That
Probably.
gets played years down the line. Who's gonna go back and watch these episodes? Ha ha ha. Who's gonna go back and watch these episodes?
Anita Sarkeesian's granddaughter watches it.
Funny enough, I'm the PC one. Ian isn't.
Nope. Only occasionally. One of us has to be one at all times. We alternate.
And then I break off for me, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't do the show with him anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they get to they wake up.
We get
after the ludicrously bad fight.
Don't worry, there's more bad CG later.
Yeah. So he wakes up and he's on a bed with Yui.
Naked.
And
both of them.
They find a bunch of clothes, but they're only for a dude.
Yeah, this was a house owned by one dude.
And yeah, so she has to wear like a baggy t-shirt.
She wears it like a dress.
And they find a skeleton.
Oh no, a spooky, scary skeleton.
And then
it sent shivers up my spine.
He goes and stands on a magic circle.
Ghosts and ghouls and...
Yeah, a ghost pops out and he's like, hey, I'm just a recording, so I can't answer your questions, but I'm like the guy that built this place, and hey, you want all my power? Because I'm just going to give it to you. But don't use it for evil. That would be real bad.
Yeah, please don't use my power for evil. I'm going to give you all of the evil and the knowledge that I had, but just please don't use it for evil. And then he does.
And then after he gets a bunch of power, and then they decide, hey, let's stay here for a while and learn some stuff before we go back to the surface, because there's a bunch of knowledge here.
Yeah, probably a smart decision.
Yeah, and then he's taking a bath one night, and then Yui goes into the bath with him, and he's like, yeah, I thought I wanted to take this by myself. And she's just like, do you not like me? And he's
like, you can take this by yourself.
Yeah. It's like, am I not your type? And he's like, well, no, you're totally my type. And she's like, okay, cool. And then she like jumps on him, and then like he's like, whoa.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna say maybe.
Oh, he Because turns out the power he gets from this dude is he can create artifacts, which are powerful magical artifacts.
Yeah, and he makes himself a new arm. It looks like he sticks some gemstone in his eye socket.
Yeah, he just fucking jams like a red rock right in his eye socket. It looks pretty painful.
Yeah.
It's probably got some dumb targeting power to it, if I had to guess.
It's going to show up in a fight where it looks like he might lose, and then it'll take off the eye patch, and they'll be like, huh, my trump card.
You've activated my trap card.
You've activated my trump card.
Ugh.
It's called a trump card.
Kaiba, you've activated my trap card. And then Exodia comes out and he
My
wins.
deck has no pitiful cards, Kaiba.
Oh my god. That's actual dialogue. No, you've beaten me at a children's card game.
I think it's pathetic card. My deck has no pathetic cards, Kaiba. Draw your last pathetic card, Yugi.
You know, you remember when Yugi had, like, a lot of synergies to do with Karibo, one of the worst cards in the entire Yu-Gi-Oh game?
Winged Karibo.
Yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing.
Dark Magician.
Dark Magician Girl. Blue Eyes. White Dragon.
Dark Magician Girl, still to this day, best Yu-Gi-Oh waifu.
Oh, totally. What are we gonna give it to the chick? No way. No way. I don't even know her name.
Tia, maybe?
I think it was
I think
Tia.
it's Tia.
The only important character is Joey.
Hey, Joey, Yug, what's going on here? Remember that time I had the Red Eyes Black Dragon? That was a cool card, right, Yug?
Hey, ain't my synergies cool, Yug?
Do you remember Battle City, Yugi? I did pretty well in Battle City, right?
What are you doing playing that card game, Yugi?
Remember when Kaiba built a whole fucking city based around having a battle royale of Yu-Gi-Oh?
Of a children's card game?
The whole economy of this big-ass city was around card games.
Well, life and... You know what they say. Life and death revolves around your card game. Yugi's grandfather goes to the hospital because he loses a card game.
To a teenager.
To a teenager. But anyway.
They're still making Yu-Gi-Oh to this day.
I know. That blows my fucking mind.
I don't know people still actively played it enough.
I didn't think they did either.
I thought anyone that played Yu-Gi-Oh probably moved to Magic.
Yeah, because Magic is adult Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, Magic's Yu-Gi-Oh
Actually,
for grown-ups.
That might be more that might be a more
That's a controversial statement.
Yeah, that's more controversial than the rape joke I made earlier.
Magic the Gathering is adult Yu-Gi-Oh.
What are you gonna do, nerds? I'm waiting for their response, but they're not saying anything.
I hear, I can't imagine Yu-Gi-Oh is probably aged well either. Like, I imagine modern Yu-Gi-Oh is probably convoluted as shit.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine you try to learn it now, and it's like, oh yeah, because every time they change it up, add a new show, they gotta add a new gimmick to it.
Of course.
Like how the game plays.
This is Yu-Gi-Oh, but everyone's on a motorcycle.
Yeah, but they also had to change up how the card game works, too.
Yeah. It's, that shit is dumb. Yu-Gi-Oh, retire. Let Magic take over. Let the Pokemon card game take over.
Unless Yu-Gi-Oh is good now, unless I just don't know it. Like, oh, hey, the scene's totally revived.
I mean, that's true, because I'm not very privy on the up-to-date card game scene. Not into CCGs.
I'll probably do the title something related to Yu-Gi-Oh, which will just be like, they're not even watching Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's a good point. Do it anyway.
Yeah, because we're actually watching From Commonplace to World's Strongest, and we have gone off on a tangent.
Yeah, but
I think we talked about everything, though, with that.
we finished. They potentially have intercourse in the bathtub.
Yeah, which, hey, good on ya, Hajime. And
sure.
Then the other group shows up at the end, and they fight the dragon.
Oh yeah, they get stronger, and then they fight the dragon.
But who cares about them?
It looks bad. It looks very bad.
If it's for my daughter, I'd even defeat a demon lord.
They're gonna fuck later.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I found out, we're gonna spoil this show for you. I found out in the light novels that this show goes the Usagi drop direction.
Yeah, and I'm not down with that.
Yeah, dude is raising his wife.
Yeah, I don't like that. And that actually flavors my enjoyment of the show.
Yeah, because at first, it's just dad and daughter, cute things. No,
Not anymore. Not
no,
anymore, son. Now things got context.
no. Now we know.
No, no, no,
No, no,
no,
no, no,
no.
no.
No, no,
No, no, no, no,
no.
no. You misunderstood.
No, 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 no.
To run down the episode, Dale is going back home to see his family.
And to get a new jacket, because he's taller now.
Yeah. Good on Kenneth and Rita, though. They're having a kid, so
Yeah.
I'm happy for them.
Yeah. Good. I hope that goes out well.
Kenneth takes Latina to the blacksmith to get a weapon for her journey with Dale.
Because nothing's more dangerous than a Latina with a sharp knife.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna make that joke every time.
So they go to the blacksmith, and turns out the blacksmith is that her classmate Rudy, the redheaded boy's dad. And you know what? That would be if Rudy you can clearly see as a crush on Latina. That should be cute. Or it's like, hey, yeah, these two kids, they're just kids with a crush. But no, she's gonna fuck her dad later.
Yeah, let them be the canon couple, the canon kid couple.
Yeah, no.
I would totally be down for that.
Yeah, this just no everything. Dale, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck Dale.
You want to watch a better series about Dale's voice actor looking after a little girl? Watch Index.
Yeah.
He's Accelerator.
Cool. I haven't watched it, so I'll put that on my list.
Yeah,
it goes in the backlog.
He's Accelerator. He looks after Last Order, who is a clone of another it's complicated.
Well, you know what? I'll have one more slot this week for a show I can watch.
You have to watch 3 seasons of Index, 2 seasons of Railgun, and the current airing season of Accelerator.
I could probably do that. I'll open up a new slot.
Okay, because I think every Index season has at least like 24 episodes, and there's 3 of them.
Oh, Jesus.
And then Railgun has 2 24-episode seasons, I think.
Well, I should put it on the backlog now and get started. Otherwise, I'm not going to fucking finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with not watching any more of this.
Yeah, me and Ian have decided we want to trim the fat anigh.
Yeah.
And this is like an excuse.
Yeah.
But it's a good excuse. So fuck you, it's a good excuse. It's a good one.
Fuck off. Frig off, dude. Guy.
Because look, we're like an hour in almost, and we still got 2 more shows to talk about. So you know what?
Luckily, one's short.
We're gonna kill you. We're gonna kill you because Dale needs to stop.
Yeah, goodbye, Demon Daddy.
Goodbye, Dale. Fuck off, Dale.
Hey, are you lost?
I am lost with the plot of this one.
They catch the bunny, and they get the bunny.
They do catch the bunny, and Glasses Girl learns how to. Tomboy Girl murders the bunny.
Because Glasses Girl can't, because she's a fucking nerd, and nerds can't take lives.
Now, she steps it up after, though, because she's like, hey, I was useless for killing the bunny. I'll, basically skin it and debowel it.
Yeah, tell me how to dress this rabbit.
And yeah, so she, like, gets advice from Homare on how to, like, cut it open, rip out all the organs, and it's just, her hands are covered in blood after, and she's like, I think I got this.
Yeah, I love how she has, like, the super hollow look on her face after she, like, skins it, and Homare's like, yeah, I can take over from here if you want, and she's like, no, let me do the whole rabbit.
I'll see this through to the end.
They also make stone knives, which turns out Shion isn't entirely useless because she's good at that.
And she actually doesn't want to say anything at first because she feels bad with how hard the rest of them are trying.
Yeah, everyone's.
And she even realized, she's like, I think I have a talent for this.
Oh no, I have a knack for it.
And then Shion wants them to do fancy French cuisine with the rabbit. And they're like, how the fuck are we going to do that?
Yeah, how we do that? We don't got
But they realize they can make a decent soup by kind of having the bones and some hot water as the broth.
Yeah, they make rabbit bone broth, or I guess just rabbit broth.
Yeah, and they wrap the rabbit meat in seaweed and then place it on like some hot coals and then bury it.
They steam the rabbit by wrapping it in tiger lily, no, not tiger lily, like tiger leaf leaves. Then they place hot stones in the ground, place some more leaves on it, and then place their wrapped up rabbit on those leaves. Then cover that, light a fire on top of it. The end. Have a nice day.
Oh yeah, and then they eat, and
It's tasty.
And Tomboy Girl kind of kept a bone of the rabbit to thanked it at the end.
Because she's going to use it as a catalyst for her necromancies.
No, yeah, and
That's where I can feel it. That's where the show's going.
They eat the whole thing because it's the first time they have like a good meal.
Yeah. And everyone is full and happy. Congrats, guys. You did it.
I've never had rabbit before.
Me neither, actually. They say it's like chicken.
Yeah.
Well, not homare. Homare is like rabbit tastes like rabbit. And they're like, I'm just going to try it.
I feel like chicken's the default flavor, though, because people say that about, like, alligator.
Yeah.
Like swamp chicken.
I feel like rabbit is closer to chicken just in, like, texture, not in necessarily flavor.
I've never had venison either. This show actually makes me hungry sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they at least try with the cooking.
Like,
hey,
venison.
We have, like, this shitty, like, food we're eating, but we're trying to make it look as, like, tasty as possible.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing about survival is, like, there's not a lot of good stuff out there if you want to just survive. But you gotta try, you know? Gotta do your best.
Like, hey, let's pop off the heads of some cicadas.
Gambarimasu.
Ikidakimasu.
Yeah. They finally did it, guys. They murdered. Jock Girl has blood on her hands now. And Glasses Girl had literal blood on her hands for a little bit.
And Shion just kind of...
Shion had rock blood on her hands.
Yeah.
Killed that innocent rock.
I like this show. I think it's my wind down show. It's one of them.
Yeah, this show's really
this
good.
and Machi Kaido.
Yeah, I also really love the OP to this show.
I like the ED to it.
I like both.
I like both too, yeah.
I really enjoy the music.
My favorite OPs this season are Machi Kaido, just because all the shit happening in that one.
Yeah, just so much random shit.
This one and I think probably would be Dr. Stone or Astra. Although Astra, I feel like we don't get the OP very much.
Yeah, I agree.
For the ED, I gotta say it's this one. I like the Case Files one.
Case Files one is very good.
And I like the Fire Force one.
I like the Fire Force and the Dr. Stone one. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And
got some good ones this season. Got some good ones.
Meanwhile, back on the Astra. So last time
on the beach planet.
Yeah. So last time we left off, Olgar was holding a gun to Luca's head.
And
in this episode, they both exposit backstory.
There's a lot of exposition going on in this one.
You find out Olgar hates Luca's father because he thinks Luca's father murdered his brother.
Yeah. I like how when it starts, Olgar's like, oh yeah, and I've got something to tell you guys. I'm not the enemy. And everyone's a little bit confused.
Yeah, this is personal.
Yeah, it turns out Olgar's brother was a reporter. He was investigating something involving Senator Esposito. And Olgar's like, you don't know what it's like to be the one that your family shuns.
And Luca's like, surprise, motherfucker, you've activated my trap card.
And then takes off their shirt.
Turns out, yeah, Luca is intersex. Medically, not male or female. Luca's got the Chevalier Dion thing going on.
Yeah.
Luca is neither male nor female fully.
And as the... he is registered as a male.
But yeah, he was the only son at first, but then they had their second son, so they didn't care about him anymore. So he's like, yeah, Olgar, I know you just want to kill me to make my dad sad, but believe me, it would make me really happy if you actually somehow made my dad sad by killing me.
And Olgar is like, well, fuck. So Olgar stops trying to shoot him.
And Olgar drops his gun, and he remembers a flashback where his brother took him up on a hilltop, and he's just like, or mountaintop, looking over the city.
Look at
He's
the
like,
flowers, Olgar.
yeah, and he's like, hey, we can just shout up here, and like, no one can hear us. And he's like, whenever you feel upset about something, just shout. And then he's like, ah.
And then it cuts to him actually shouting, and I like shit like that. Stuff like that is cool.
Yeah, and we learned Olgar's brother got involved with a lot of like, he's like, man, I got myself involved in something really messy. And Olgar knew his brother didn't kill himself because he found he bought him a birthday present.
And why would you buy someone a birthday present and then kill yourself?
And that's why Olgar actually wears that beanie on his head, because that's from his brother.
And I actually liked how
it's not the one he bought him, it's the one he wore.
Yeah, and it's the same brand as his brother's jacket.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a nice little touch. I like little touches.
You like little touches.
I like little touches. Not touches on littles.
And it looks like everything's resolved, but turns out this is the water planet from what's that movie? The
Waterworld?
No, what's that movie that everyone liked that Christopher Nolan made that was like, oh, it's so deep, it's such a smart space movie. Matt Damon's the bad guy, and he everyone goes into space. What is that movie? Everyone fucking lost their shit over that movie.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You don't remember that Christopher Nolan movie about space with Matt McConaughey, and he's like, Murph.
Oh, Matt McConaughey.
Yeah. Matt Damon's the bad guy in it.
I didn't watch that movie because it looked like pretentious bullshit.
It was, but what's the name of it?
Interstellar.
Yeah, Interstellar. Okay, they go to a planet and
Tyler fucking loves that movie.
Yeah, Tyler's a fucking moron.
Yeah, he is.
Tyler's an actual moron. He doesn't watch this podcast, so I can say that. My friend Tyler is an actual moron.
You're gonna get an awkward message on Facebook in a couple days.
Hey, I watch your podcast, I watch it every week.
I decided to check in this time.
Yeah.
Or
not
episode...
even just, hey, I was silently supporting you in the background. I was always watching you guys' podcast. I was always supporting you. And then you call me a moron on your podcast.
Well, you know what? He should have been louder in his support.
Yeah.
Scream your support to the heavens.
I didn't see you market us, Tyler.
Yeah, exactly. How big of a fan can you be if you don't market us?
I'm sorry, Tyler. It's just, I hate that movie, and that movie brings out the worst in me.
It does.
Anyway, yeah, that fucking movie, there's a planet in it where the waves get really fucking huge. They land, they're like, hey, there's water. Oh, fuck. It's just tidal waves. The tidal waves of the planet.
Yeah, basically they're sitting there, and then while everyone's talking, there's an earthquake, and then no one ever thinks anything of it, and then a tidal wave shows up. But Olgar and Luca are washed away.
Yeah, they're too far away to get back to the ship, and they're holding on to a
It's a tree.
Yeah, it's a tree, and then Olgar's like, he's like, you don't have the strength to hold both of us. Let go of me.
And Luca says, no, I'm not gonna do that.
And then Olgar basically makes himself like let go.
Yeah, he's like, Olgar gives some bullshit reasoning because he's like, I'm not gonna let Kanata suffer like he did on that mountain again, losing someone. And then he fucking lets go.
But then Kanata drops down on a harness because Charles is holding the wire thing, so he drops down.
Back from episode 1.
Yeah. Loop grabs Olgar, and Olgar's like, I have no strength left. Just let me go. And Kanata's like, no, I'm not doing that. He's like, stop trying to suicide.
Stop it. Let me save you, goddammit.
And he actually does save them. Then they all get saved, and then he's like apologizing to everyone. And he's like, also, I'm sorry, Luca, that I made you reveal your secret and get naked in front of everyone. He's like, what was that last part? He's like, I'm sorry I made you get naked. He's like, could you say that again? I'm sorry I made you get naked.
And then...
And it seems like now, like, Luca has, like, a crush on Olgar.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man tries to kill you, and then after you want his D.
Whatever,
It's the excitement.
That's up to Luca,
Yeah, and...
They're like the bad boys.
Yep, and they get along now and stuff. They're good. Olgar's better buddies with everyone. And I really like the scene where he goes to give Kanata the gun, and he's like, also, he didn't bring that gun. He found it on the ship.
Yeah, it was just in the supply hold.
Yeah, so he gives it to Kanata. He's like, hey, here's the gun. He's like, no, I want you to hang on to it. He's like, you're the only person that can actually use it. So he's like, we're going to trust you with it.
And Olgar's like, guess I'm part of the gang now.
Yeah. Aye, aye, Captain.
Olgar had his group bonding episode.
Yeah, and everyone's all good now, and then they're having a fun chat together at dinner, and then everyone's laughing. They're like, hey, Aries and Charsh, you guys were in the same biology class then, right? And he's like, yeah. And then she's like, wait a second, I don't remember you. And he's like, well, who would remember every single person in their class? And she's like, I would. I have a photographic memory.
Another thing that was revealed in an earlier episode, which I'd actually forgotten about.
Because he's just laughing, and she's like dead serious, like, no, I remember everybody.
I made it a point to remember all of my classmates' faces.
And then she's
you
like,
weren't in that class.
Are you hiding something, Charsh? And then he has those, like...
It's serious face.
He has the serious eyes, and then we're like, we made the joke 2 weeks ago. Like, what if it's Charsh who's the traitor?
Dude,
it's fucking Charsh, the guy we didn't think it could be.
Exactly. Or at the very least, he is yet another red herring.
Yeah, he's been hiding shit the whole time.
He
has been hiding something, because clearly he has
Definitely.
lied about being in class with her, because she has the photographic memory.
I get the feeling that basically everyone is hiding something.
We've had everybody revealed so far besides... Actually, yeah, we had the Zach... We had the Kittery and her sister episode. We had the we just had the Olgar and Luca episode. We had the Yunhua episode. Kanata's was kind of the first.
Yeah, Kanata basically revealed himself right off the bat.
The only people left are Charse, Zach, and Aries. Arisu. Yeah. And I don't think she's really... I really don't think she's the traitor. If she is, I'm going to be, like, blown away.
Yeah, I would be, too. There's also another part where Zach brings up the point that, hey, Olgar, if your brother was just investigating a corruption scandal, he probably wouldn't have wound up dead.
Because politicians get accused of corruption all the time.
Exactly.
That's not special.
So there's got to be something else.
I don't think it's Zach. I think we know... The fact that Zach's backstory is tied to Kittery's means I don't think it's Zach.
Yeah. I think at the very least...
Because he and Kittery grew up together.
Exactly. I think at the very least, Zach kind of might know what got Olgar's brother killed.
I think he's not... Zach wouldn't be the traitor, but he knows what's going... He knows the motive of the traitor, but he's not revealing it.
Exactly. So that's probably what we're going to get from his episode.
I also like how now all the guys are kind of like awkward around Luca, where he's like, "Come on, guys, let's do sumo," and they're like, "No, we can't do that." No.
Yeah, it's not. Or like Olgar grabs him by the front of his vest, and he's like, and backs off.
Because he pulls on his vest and it opens it up a bit, and then Luca gets all like, "Huh,"
and he's like, "Oh, it's ho 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 ho."
Get a little spicy on this ship.
Ooh,
someone want to turn down the thermostat?
Yeah, I like this show. This show is great. It is amazing, and everyone should watch it. Everyone in the whole world.
Everyone in the whole world should watch this show.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I love this show. It's great, and everyone should watch it. Everyone in the whole world.
Everyone in the whole world. We're going to make everyone watch it. This is a threat. This is a declaration of war.
This is our manifesto.
Yeah.
We're going to hijack every airwave, radio, television, satellite radio,
ham radio.
It's just us reading the script out on like ham radios. Streaming services. Everyone's gonna watch it.
So good.
If you think our podcast is so good, you should like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Or follow us on Twitter at Protagonist Seat.
Or Facebook, The Protagonist Seat.
There are so many options.
There are so many options.
You could check us out on so many different platforms.
Read our tweets.
Check out our videos.
Look our posts. That's good shit. I like that.